Today, we're diving into the many barriers that lead relationships to unravel. Not because of an absence of love, but because of disconnection. It's like, when expectations and vulnerability are out of sync, that's when the cracks start appearing.
Yeah, right. It's fascinating how such subtle habits over time create these hidden connection breakers, isn't it?
Absolutely. One of the big culprits is the fear of vulnerability. I mean, if you're constantly guarding your true self, it makes it nearly impossible to form that deep, genuine
hmm
connection. It reminds me of Drew's story, where his eagerness to please actually masked his true opinions, ultimately leading to disconnection with his partner.
That's such a relatable point. And it's like you want to protect yourself, but then end up losing that authentic bond?
Exactly. And then, there's this whole thing about unmet expectations. We tend to assume our partners are psychic, like they should automatically know what we need without us saying a word. But when those needs aren't
Yeah,
expressed,
really.
disappointment quietly builds up.
Right. I think of Sam's experience here, where she just felt neglected because her partner had different priorities. Rather than speaking up, she let the silence fuel resentment.
Right? And that bridges right into people pleasing. When you're too busy trying to keep everyone happy, especially your partner, you end up sacrificing your own voice, which can cause even more disconnection in the long run.
Absolutely. But, isn't it somewhat ironic? People pleasing might seem considerate at first, but it actually masks our true desires.
Yeah, it's like, you're trading authenticity for temporary peace. And Sarah's case really highlights that. She constantly sought approval from her partner, and over time, that imbalance eroded the genuine connection they
Right.
needed.
I totally get that. It's like, while you might think you're making your partner happy, you're actually building these walls of disconnection.
Exactly. And then, there's the lingering baggage from unresolved issues. Whether it's old conflicts or past emotional wounds, these unresolved issues can create a cloud of negativity that affects current relationships.
Yep,
It's as though
indeed.
these old hurts just shadow every interaction.
That part really struck me. The notion that without healing from past pain, you keep carrying the weight into new relationships, which then opens the door for misunderstandings and resentment.
Right? And it's a hard truth, because it means that no matter how deep your love might be, if you haven't processed those past traumas, true intimacy can be elusive. It's like
Yeah,
trying to build a house on shaky ground.
I get that imagery. But, I'm curious. Wouldn't you say that sometimes it's not just about past trauma, but also about the differences in needs and priorities that can create friction?
Yes, absolutely. Take Mike and Layla, for example. On one side, you've got someone like Mike who craves stability and security. And on the other, Layla who craves adventure and spontaneity. When their values
Uh-huh.
don't align, it naturally leads to disconnection unless they actively negotiate to find common ground.
I completely agree. And it almost sounds like a delicate dance, balancing between wanting security and wanting adventure. How do you think couples can navigate that?
Well, it's about negotiation and open communication, really. They need to openly address their differing priorities and then create shared experiences that honor both sides. For instance, setting aside time for adventures while also enjoying home routines can bridge that gap.
Right. That blend of compromise and honest dialogue really seems key. But what about the often overlooked factor, the neglect of quality time together?
Ah, yes. Quality time is huge. Amy and Kabir's story shows that even when love is there, simply getting caught up in daily responsibilities can cause couples to drift
Yeah, for
apart.
sure.
When we let the busyness of life take over, we lose opportunities to nurture that bond.
And it's interesting because it often feels like we've done our time together, but quality time is about intentional engagement, right?
Exactly, you got it. Intentional time means planning, like weekly date nights, or even finding little moments during the day, just to connect and share your inner thoughts. It's all about
That's
investing in
right.
the relationship daily, rather than letting it fade away unnoticed.
I agree. Now, I have to ask, some might argue that love should just prevail regardless of these obstacles, but isn't it like counterintuitive to think that love alone isn't enough?
Yeah, I hear you. But here's the thing. Love is powerful, no doubt, but it isn't a magic shield against disconnection. It's the continuous practice of vulnerability, honesty, and direct communication that truly fuels connection.
hmm
Without those, Even deep love can gradually turn into loneliness.
That's a really good point. It's like love sets the stage, but it's the connection that truly builds the narrative. And when that connection frays, the relationship can slowly, unravel.
Exactly, and on that note, the discussion moves toward reconnection. No matter how much disconnection builds, the pathway back to intimacy is always available. You just need to be willing to heal old wounds and actively work on rebuilding that trust.
Right. I like that. It's hopeful. But I'm curious, how do we bridge that gap practically? Is it just about talking it out, or are there other strategies?
Well, besides the honest dialogue, it often involves external support like counseling or therapy to help navigate those deep-seated issues and emotional scars. And more than that, it requires each person to be willing to be vulnerable. It's like
Right.
starting small, building skills bit by bit until the relationship transforms into a safe space again.
That makes total sense. I mean, it resonates. Healing takes time and patience, and sometimes it feels like you're on a long road. But with the right help, the journey back to connection is totally within reach.
Exactly, and there's a bit of an entrepreneurial twist too. There's this call to action where couples or even individuals can step into coaching sessions or courses that provide practical tools for mending those connection breaks.
Yeah, that
It's
can
like
be a
having
game changer.
roadmap in the midst of emotional chaos.
I love that analogy. A roadmap when you're lost. But I also want to gently challenge one idea. Sometimes, isn't it easier said than done? I mean, asking someone to confront their emotional baggage doesn't always lead to immediate results, right?
You're right. It's definitely not a quick fix. In fact, if you look at the narrative, it's about consistent daily choices and, a lot of hard work. No magic pill exists, and if someone thinks vulnerability can be toggled on like a switch, they're, well, in for a surprise.
Right, absolutely. Exactly. It's an ongoing process. And I guess that's where the idea of small daily actions comes in. Cultivating mindfulness, self-awareness, and even just setting aside a bit of time every day to talk without distractions.
Yeah, it's all about those small steps. It's like planting seeds of trust and watching them grow slowly over time. The journey back to intimacy often begins with one honest conversation, one shared moment, and then gradually you rebuild that foundation.
Right on. And here's something else that struck me. The idea that connection is central to all aspects of life, not just romantic. It even ties into the overall pursuit of genuine joy and well-being, doesn't it?
Absolutely, beyond just relationships. It's about a holistic way of living, balancing self-love, self-care, and a mindful existence that really magnifies
Yeah,
joy
totally.
in everyday life. The article really drives that home by linking healthy relationships to overall well-being.
It's like a ripple effect. When you nurture your internal world and your connections with others, every part of your life can flourish. You know?
Exactly, and that's why the conversation isn't just about what ends relationships, but about how to foster deeper, more meaningful connections that last a lifetime. Even when life throws obstacles in the
Right.
mix, strengthening these bonds ultimately leads to a richer, more fulfilled life.
I love how clear that message is. Awareness and intentionality are key. And even if we all struggle with these hidden barriers, knowing about them is the first step in overcoming them.
Right. It's like a call to be proactive in our relationships. Take the time to address fears, articulate expectations, and commit to quality time together. With that, connection becomes an ongoing, living work of art.
Exactly. Ultimately, it's a hopeful message for anyone who's felt lost in their relationship. With honest dialogue, willingness to heal, and a commitment to vulnerability, reconnection is always within reach.
Well said. And for anyone listening who might be facing these challenges, remember that whether it's through therapy, coaching, or self-help courses, there are resources available to help guide you on the journey back to connection and genuine joy.
Couldn't agree more. It's all about taking that first step to bridge the gap, one honest conversation at a time.